And again, guys, what's going on? And I'm going to start this video off with a quote from Super Bowl wide receiver Doug Baldwin on his comments towards Hall of Fame wide receiver Chris Carter. That dude who said that we were appetizers, he told me to Google him, and I did Google him, but I didn't see any Super Bowl appearances. And I also saw 2 losses in conference championships. I have a Super Bowl ring, and I will gladly show that to him. And if he doesn't have time to come see it, tell him he can Google it. Got him. Was he wrong? Heck no. I mean, granted, Chris Carter has got his Hall of Fame, but does he have a Super Bowl? No. Has he played in one? No. His colleagues have. Mike Ditka is a 3-time Super Bowl champ. Keyshawn Johnson won 1 Super Bowl. Ray Lewis is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and Tom Jackson played in 2. He lost both, but he played in 2. So Chris Carter is the only one in that group, with the exception of Boomer, who has not ever played a Super Bowl. So Doug Baldwin really came with that G stuff. That seems to be a Seahawk theme. Tell how it is. If you remember, I think it was like 2 years ago or a year ago. Richard Sherman said, "quote I am better at life than you," to Skip Bayless. So that Seahawk team, man, they some real dudes, man. To me, the Super Bowl gave you everything that you expected: physicality, shutdown defense, and to me, like I told people before. The X factor would be Seahawks offense and Denver's defense. And for a while, Denver's defense was they were showing up, man, being on the roll that they were before. But it's just when their offense came on the field, that Seahawks defense was just too overpowering. You know what I mean? I did not make a pick because to me it was that hard. And like I said, that was the first Super Bowl that I wanted to see, but at the same time, I didn't care if I didn't see. So, like I told people before, this was the same thing, how Peyton Manning lost the '09 Super Bowl to the Saints. If you give him pressure, it's just a Manning trait that they're not going to take the hit as they should. In 2009, he threw a pick six to Tracy Porter, who, and that's still the game. He threw it so early because he was just such a bitch. He didn't want to take the hit that he threw it before Reggie Wayne even saw it, and Tracy Porter seen it because his face was always looking at Peyton Manning. So if Peyton Manning would have took a couple sacks, then his picks last night wouldn't have happened, I would say. And you could ask, why didn't he scramble outside the pocket? I swear to God, man, those Manning dudes, they can't scramble. It's terrible. They move so fast. The motion is so fast, but they gain no yards. So that's why they don't scramble. I don't think this was a bad year. I think this was a great year because obviously he still did things that no other quarterback has done in that year. They weren't able to run the ball. Oh, and the Broncos shut down Marshawn Lynch. But anyway, they weren't able to run the ball. They do have a great back and a Monty Ball, but at the same time, he's in the wrong scheme. They run more of a spread. He went to Wisconsin for a one-back I formation, all-pro, pro-style offense. So he wasn't really utilized as he should have been in that. They should have ran some packages for him. You know what I mean? And that's just how it went. I voted for Cam Chancellor for the MVP like 1,000 times. So, and that's how you know it was a team game. It was hard to pick a set MVP. I was gonna throw a fit if Russell got it because Russell didn't do anything, and he scored in the garbage time. And garbage time is when the time remaining for the game to be over because the game's already over. Just the time has ran out. So I guess the guy who got it had a pick six, and that was a momentum shift. I wouldn't have been surprised if Percy Harvin got it because the social media blew up after that kick return. So I wouldn't have been surprised if he got it. Like I said, man, it was just the fact that there was so much pressure that Peyton Manning faced and his receivers got roughed up. And you pair those together with the fact that you can't run the ball, you're going to lose the Super Bowl. And they turned the ball over way too much. But I think it's still a great accomplishment to achieve the Super Bowl. Because, We ain't been in the Super Bowl in about since '04, and we lost. Damn it. And that goes to show that like it's hard to appreciate Andy Reid because he made such assholish, just dumb moves. Every time I watched Earl Thomas play, I cried because we could have had him. They showed him on the screen when we were on the clock, and we drafted Brandon Graham. What the fuck? Makes no sense. Um, but we did, and he could have drafted Russell Wilson. He could have got Colin Kaepernick. All these guys he could have got, and he didn't get. So it's like it's hard to say you missed the guy and appreciate him when he could have made some moves that potentially would have kept him in Philadelphia. The odds have opened up. The Eagles are at a 30-1 chance to to go to the Super Bowl and win it. I think I'll take that because Jaguars. They got 400-1 or 200-1. That's terrible. So yeah, it's 200-1. So that's terrible. I think the team Seahawks it was a great franchise move. They rebuilt I mean, that was one of the most brilliant rebuilding periods that you've seen in a while. I think they go for a wide receiver in the draft, something like Kelvin Benjamin, a guy who can actually be a good number two if Percy Harvin gets healthy. And then their line was the biggest thing, was the biggest question. They had a shaky line. I think they had a different rotation like every week, I think, but they definitely need to draft towards the line. It was a snoozer. I think there was going to be expected to be 40 points, but it wasn't expected to be by the Seahawks, so you got to congratulate them. I like to see how, Russell Wilson was not supposed to be successful. He was not supposed to succeed. He was not supposed to win before Robert Griffin III or Andrew Luck. I hate Andrew Luck. I think he's the most overrated person to ever come out. He wasn't supposed to win before those two, but he has Super Bowl in the second year, and they don't really have anything to show for it. Well, RG3 has a Rookie of the Year. Andrew Luck has nothing, and Ryan Tannehill he's trash, man. I hate that. I don't even want to talk about it. I hate him. The Super Bowl, for me, brings one of the most annoying periods of time because for the next month or however, you got to listen to people who try to talk about something that they have no idea, no knowledge on it, but what they heard. Like this one guy was talking about, he was like, yeah, I knew the Seahawks was going to win. And then fast forward into his conversation, he said, yeah, I bet $5 on the Broncos. Now, if you knew a team was going to win, why would you bet against them? That's just, it's the bandwagon. I got to hear all day, yeah, I knew the Seahawks was going to win. My boy Nick was like, he was like, I'm a Russell Wilson fan, and he just happened to be on the Seahawks. No. You weren't a fan before him because he was on Wisconsin. And if you're an Ohio State fan, you don't like Wisconsin. You didn't know about Russell Wilson because you didn't talk about Russell Wilson. It's not that he just happened to be on the Seahawks. You bandwagon, squeeze. I swear I came out with that. I ain't not even going to talk about the Seahawks. So it's not that he happened to be there. You squeeze the Seahawks, which is okay now, as long as you accept being a bandwagon and you stick with the Seahawks from this point on. Bandwagon fans to me are the most annoying thing in the world. Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I apologize for my past few videos not being clear enough, not being upbeat enough, so I promise I'll be a little bit more or a lot more energetic. My advice of the day, say hi. If you see anyone that you just want to say hi to, just say hi because you never know if you'll see them again. Rest in peace to my 5th grade teacher, Nancy Bruce, who I was close to. I seen her working at a candle store in the mall. I thought I should say hi, and I decided not to because I was like, she's working. And a week later, I found out that she passed away. So advice of the day, go with your gut and say hi. Super Bowl. You didn't know the score for some reason. It was 43-8. Seahawks up. I just hope we can win the Super Bowl before I die. I'm being honest. All right, talk to y'all later.